Hey, what's going on, guys? What's happening, YouTube? Thank you for tuning into Rules for Rebels. What I wanted to talk about in today's video is eBay cutting ties with PayPal and kind of moving the focus over to their own in-house payment processing. This was announced a few months ago. eBay, after 15 years, plans to cut off PayPal as its main payment processor. And, well, technically, it's not their own in-house payment processing. They've actually partnered with a company called, I believe it's pronounced Adyen, although it's actually Adyen, ADYEN.com, and they process payments for companies like Uber, Netflix, Etsy, Spotify, Tory Burch, EasyJet. There's actually a bunch more if we scroll down. Spotify, Booking.com, LinkedIn, really big payment processor, even though you don't hear much about them. It's actually a Dutch company that's been around since 2006. And actually, earlier today, eBay did a live webinar in which they fielded some questions, talked about this change, etc. If anybody's wondering why this happened, apparently it's going to allow eBay more control over the checkout process, and it's also going to lower costs. They're probably getting a better deal with this company, so they're going to basically, whatever the cost is for payment processing, probably going to be around the same at 2.9%. Rather than giving PayPal the bulk share of that, I imagine eBay is going to get a nice cut. So eBay is going to make a little bit more money as well. Now, why does this matter to you guys? Well, I know there's a lot of people out there who have been suspended from PayPal or have their PayPal accounts closed, but who still have eBay accounts in good standing. And up until now, there really hasn't been a good alternative to PayPal for people who want to sell on eBay but can't sell through PayPal. So what's kind of cool about this, for any of you guys out there who were forced to stop selling on eBay because PayPal cut you off, you now have another option to process payments. Now, if we go way, way back, eBay has always allowed a couple of different payment processors, but PayPal has always been kind of the main focus. So there's a company called Skrill, which also goes by Money Bookers. At one point, they were a payment processor you could set up through eBay, but there was never really a big focus on it. It didn't really integrate that well into eBay. There was another one, I think it was called ProPay. That never really worked that well either. And then you've always been able to hook up your own merchant processor to eBay. So, I mean, you could go get your own First Data account and accept credit cards through eBay. But, I mean, let's be honest, 99% of eBay buyers want to pay with PayPal. So, I was selling a product that PayPal said you can't sell anymore, even though I'd been selling it for years. That essentially ended that particular eBay business of mine. So I did try to go get a payment processor, but I mean 99% of people, they go to start a buy on eBay, and then as soon as they realize they can't pay with PayPal, they cancel the transaction. So it's really kind of cool here that we have another alternative to PayPal payments. So any of you guys who want to sell on eBay but don't have PayPal accounts that you can use anymore, here's another option for you. I think this is actually going to be 2 or 3 years before this rolls out internationally, but for US sellers, for US customers, this should be rolling out within the next few weeks, if not the next month or two, at the very longest. Now, this is actually going to be kind of interesting. So on a conference call, what they talked about is basically everything is just going to be a lot more seamlessly integrated. I don't know if you guys have ever had to call eBay support or call PayPal support, and you're telling them about an issue you have, and they're like, oh, well, that's more of a PayPal issue. Let me transfer you over there. You need to call PayPal. Basically, now everything is going to be done in-house at eBay. So if you have an issue with payments, you'll call eBay. If you have an issue with listings, you'll call eBay, and eBay will be able to handle it all for you. Now, eBay will still allow you to use PayPal, but PayPal is no longer going to be the focus, and I believe it's in 2020 the agreement or partnership that eBay and PayPal have comes to an end, and then PayPal's really going to be kind of on the back burner there. During this live webinar, somebody asked, are you going to accept cryptocurrency payments? And eBay said, well, we don't currently accept cryptocurrency. And while Adyen doesn't currently accept cryptocurrency, they did put a big focus on this call on like, look, we want to offer a lot of options, for people, I'm not really familiar, but they said people in Asia like using, this processor and this processor, so we're going to try to integrate that. People in Europe are really used to these forms of payments. We're going to try to integrate that. So they said kind of in the spirit of giving people a lot of choices, they realize that cryptocurrency is really popular, and they're keeping an eye on it. I think they actually specifically mentioned Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ripple, which I found kind of odd. But they did say that they are seriously looking at cryptocurrency as a payment option. They also talked about probably rolling out Apple Pay as a payment option on eBay. So, yeah, basically the big focus of the call was that everything was going to be much more streamlined. You were no longer going to have these issues where like you call eBay and they can't help you. You got to call PayPal. Everything's integrated. You're not going to have any contact with Adyen, any questions you have about payment processing, any issues that you have. Like basically eBay is going to be the front-facing part of this kind of partnership. So for any of you guys who kind of don't know the history, eBay and PayPal at one point were the same company. A couple years ago, they split off separately. And then at one point, they decided that, or I guess when they split off, there was an agreement that I think for 1 or 2 years, eBay couldn't go start another payment processor or couldn't partner with another payment processor, and PayPal couldn't go start an auction site. So for like a year or two, they couldn't directly compete with each other. But now, you know, the split has officially happened, and in 2020, the partnership is going to completely come to an end. So again, PayPal will still be an option for you, but it won't be the primary focus. They showed some screenshots, but basically, eBay wants to offer a more streamlined checkout process. And here's one of the funny things about eBay. You know, I don't know how long you guys have been buying online or interested in e-commerce. I was on eBay like as a young teenager, like way back when like you still had to send cashier's checks to buy something off eBay. And what's kind of funny is eBay was basically one of the first kind of like e-commerce online sales platforms out there. And they really would have had a chance to kind of dominate the industry. But, you know, through kind of poor management and some other slip-ups, obviously like Amazon and Wayfair and, you know, a lot of other companies have kind of come. And eBay kind of is now like the kind of forgotten about, right? Like eBay, you know, I'm sure some of us still use eBay and like eBay. Like at the end of the day, it's kind of like, you know, it's just not the same level of service and not nearly as popular as like Amazon and some other some other shopping options out there. I think eBay kind of realized they dropped the ball. It was only a couple years, you know, you used to have an eBay account. You'd have to log in. It's only been within the past year, 2 years, maybe 3 years that eBay has allowed people to start checking out as a guest with a credit card and just kind of made it more like a traditional shopping site as opposed to this auction site. And it seems like that's what they're really putting a focus on. They kind of showed a bunch of screenshots of what the checkout process is going to look like. And basically everything's just going to be a lot more streamlined, a lot more user-friendly. And it seems like eBay's kind of making a push to try to kind of compete with Amazon and some of these other companies. But again, you know, any of you guys who have had PayPal accounts suspended and haven't been able to sell on eBay for a while, here's your opportunity to get back on. And why this is kind of exciting to me. Me and my business partner, we have, I think, 4 or 5 different eBay stores. We also have a couple Shopify stores off of eBay. And, you know, going back to maybe 2015, up from like 2013 to 2015, we had a really strong business going on eBay. We dominated our category. I think we made anywhere between 92 and 96% of all of the sales in our category. And one thing that you'll notice as eBay sellers, there's certain legal products that eBay will allow you to sell, but that may go against PayPal's terms of service. And it's kind of a gray area where like PayPal will let some people sell these items, but will stop other people. Just to give you guys some examples, I mean, maybe some things like airsoft guns or some stuff like that. If you look on eBay, there's a lot of people who sell like vape juice or vape juice cartridges, non-nicotine. You're not allowed to sell nicotine on eBay, but people will sell like flavored, like cotton candy flavored, like glycerin juice. So you could like, it's no nicotine, but you could like vape cotton candy flavored air or whatever. And like things like that, eBay allows it to be sold. PayPal, it's kind of a gray area with them. I'm not actually going to give away my niche and kind of what we were selling. But I sold a couple products that eBay allows, completely legal. PayPal is kind of trying to shut people down on that front. So PayPal shut down our PayPal account. And while we still have other eBay stores, you know, like I mentioned earlier, we tried accepting credit cards. 99% of people on eBay will not pay with a credit card, right? They're used to paying with PayPal. They want to pay with PayPal. They like the protections that PayPal offers. So why this is kind of interesting to me is me and my business partner, I read through Adyen or Adyen's terms of service, list of prohibited categories, etc. There's nothing mentioned about this. So I think this may allow us to revive one of our eBay businesses. We're still running this business off of eBay, still doing Shopify. Business is incredibly successful, doing about 2.6 million per year in sales. But eBay, like, I mean, we would do, you know, anywhere from $40,000 to $90,000 a week in eBay sales. And while eBay does take a lot of fees and things like that, like, it's still good money. So we're kind of excited that this may allow us to bring that particular business back onto eBay. But really be interesting to see kind of how this thing shakes out. Apparently, eBay will still have all the buyer protections and seller protections that you've had with PayPal, even through this new payment processor. So I'll be excited to see kind of this rollout, what it looks like. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are there any of you guys who've been suspended from PayPal or had your PayPal accounts closed, but who still have active, good standing eBay accounts, and maybe this is going to get you back on? Curious to hear what you guys think about this. Drop a comment in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button below, and if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I'll check you guys out in the next one.